Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of HPE Labs podcast from Research to Reality. Today, we have a great honor and pleasure to host Keith. Hello, Keith.
Hi, Dan. Good to see you.
So today, we'll be talking about technology and business.
All right.
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, Keith McAuliffe. I'm CTO for infrastructure in HPE Labs. I spent a lot of my career in the business units at HPE and its legacy companies, and have had a wonderful career here. And it's just a great opportunity to be here with you and with the audience.
So you and I have been planning this for multiple years now. Last year, there was some emergency. We couldn't do it. This is our last chance. Can you explain why?
Yeah, it's our last chance because I'm retiring from HPE. And after 30 years with the company and its legacy companies, it's time for another chapter in my life. But I couldn't be more grateful for this chapter here at HPE.
Congratulations, Keith. So your title is Director and VP2. Can you explain to our audience what does it mean?
Well, in the land of our company, in an engineering research or advanced technology environment, a VP role is an engineering leader that focuses on not just the execution of whatever the engineering mission is, but also on the business context of that mission, so that the work we do is relevant to our business, to our customers, to our shareholders.
And while all of us are expected to be both business-minded and engineering-minded, and while most managers are really technical, you are one of the best examples that I've ever known in this company who is so much focused on both business and technology. I always learn a lot from you. Now, can you explain to us, how do you measure your success?
I think measure success by impact. And it could be impact on the business. It could be the positive impact on the community. It could be the positive impact on the organization. But we are here to do the best we can for the shareholders.
So what are you most proud of in your career?
I guess I'm most proud of, the engineer in me is proud of the products and the technology, but actually I'm most proud of the people I've had the opportunity to work with. It's an organization of people and of great people. At least, I don't know what everyone's experience is, but my company experience, particularly at HPE and the legacy companies, has been outstanding people. And the opportunity to work with them and the things we can accomplish together, I couldn't be more proud.
And all these people that you mentioned feel the same about you. And it's a recurrent theme. I've heard it over and over. It's always about the people. But these people also make products.
That's right.
And you are well known for making some. Can you do both show and tell?
I got a little bit to show. There's kind of an old guy thing I'll show. Let me take you back to the very early days of personal computing. I joined this company working on the very first desktop PC, the legacy company Compaq, and it was a Compaq Desk Pro. This is the front face of the Compaq Desk Pro, and a computer that really helped put the company on the map past its portable heritage. A whopping 640K of memory, a 10 megabyte hard drive, and a display that could display terminal sort of text as well as graphics. But the key was being compatible with the established IBM PC architecture and doing it at higher performance. So I had the opportunity, in those early days, to see much more of the design engineering process around any computer, from the logic design to the manufacturing pieces to the electromechanical, because so much of it is done in a vertical fashion.
So 8088 or 8086?
8086, 8 megahertz, a whopping 8 megahertz.
Wow.
And in fact, we've come a long way since then. This is like the early part of my career. But if you kind of look at where technology has gone today.
Few tens of years later.
This is the front of a ProLiant DL380, which is sort of the pinnacle of this x86 technology that dates back to that Desk Pro I just showed you. If you kind of think about that Desk Pro and you think about, how many of those Desk Pros would it take to do the work of this modern DL380? It would take over 4 million of them. The scale is incredible. 4 million improvement over my career is just amazing. And for anyone who's been through this part of the industry and made a contribution.
So with all that experience from the compact PC to DL380, what kind of advices can you give to us engineers who will continue your legacy in this company?
Well, I think, Dan, it's the intersection of technology and business. We have no shortage of innovation at our company. The key is the innovation that can flow into the way we do business. And I think that's true for any company, that if you're going to create products, do you already have an established way to get that product into market? Do you have a customer base you can serve, or it's adjacent to a customer base you have? And so it's marrying up that right technology with the right appetite with customers and the way to reach them.
Just like our CTO, Fidelma, says, the innovation is combination of invention and adoption. Invention is all these inventions we make, adoption, business, and customer.
Exactly.
And we spoke in the beginning about managers, how technical they are. What kind of advices do you have for managers?
For managers, my advice would be really work to exercise empathy. Understanding the perspective of our customers. Try to walk in their shoes. Think about what they have to deal with in their day-to-day life. Walk in the shoes of our partners. Walk in the shoes of even competitors to understand how they might think about the business challenge in a way that might be different than the way we think about it. Colleagues, other parts of an organization. Sometimes organizations can be a bit siloed. And if that happens, particularly in a big company, think about what's driving and motivating those other parts of the organization, and the opportunity to collaborate in a way that's constructive to the way they would like to operate their part of the business.
So empathy can never be overrated.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's weird, though, to have I'm all into the technology, but empathy.
At the end, it's empathy and people.
Yeah.
And you also work with various communities like OCP, DMTF, either directly or indirectly through your people. Can you tell us the importance of these communities?
Yeah, open communities are really one of the most effective ways to advance our capability as an industry, raise the tide for all the boats in the harbor, and for us to play our competitive role in that rising tide. And we do that by, rather than creating a bunch of proprietary things across, and I have a legacy of technologies I've worked on that we've tried to do proprietary things, and in the right conditions, they can be extremely successful and foundational. In other cases, it's not high value add, and sometimes it's not what our customers want. And so being able to work collaboratively with the broader industry, driving industry standards so that we have better interoperability between maybe the things we make and consume and the things other parties contribute to an overall IT solution, just makes all of us that much stronger in the market.
Very eloquent. I will forever remember the tide coming up and bringing OCP and others. But we also have HPE community of developers inside.
We do.
Can you tell us a little bit about that community?
Yeah, so we have community developers inside the company. One example is one we're doing internally where it's a collaboration around AI. If anybody that's been through several generations of technology transitions, it's always some eager people that are eager to pioneer a certain area, to make the time to get proficient in the technology, and there are others that are looking for a little more guidance along the way. So how do we create an internal community where there can be sharing of that information from the eager mavericks to the ones that have other problems they want to solve, but haven't quite kickstarted their way down the AI path. And we're moving far along down that path in the company today, and we're already seeing the results.
And what did you find most gratifying in your career? I kind of can already guess, but I would like to hear it from you.
Well, you asked what made me most proud, and it's really kind of the same answer, Dan. I'm gratified with the people I've had the opportunity to work with, but I'd also say the people I've gotten to visit with, customers, partners, our own field around the world. the different cultures that you meet when you travel like that, and that the world seems smaller when you see these common threads as you travel the world for business purposes. But the non-business, just experiencing how other people live, I couldn't be more grateful for having been able to do that.
We'll come back about the way of living later.
Yeah.
But for now, what would you do differently if you would start your career again?
Well, that's a good question. Somebody asked me that the other day, and I was the beneficiary of a different growth profile in the early days of my career. I was in a very fast-growing part of the business, and because of that, I saw opportunities. My team saw opportunities that maybe in a more stable business they might not have seen. We continue to grow here at HPE, not at that startup kind of rate. And so I think if we're doing it today, I think I'd really focus on working across organizations, playing the empathy card very heavily, understanding how a lot of the internal organizations work and want to behave, and look for those common areas of mutual interest. Because in almost any complex technology company, there's power in bringing together disparate parts.
We spoke about business, we spoke about technology, but there's also broader good. How does this company and how do you personally bring?
Well, for me, the broader good, I mean, certainly we've changed the lives and the way people live around the world by the productivity and by the capabilities, the ability to solve complex problems that with computing technology that have been insurmountable. There's more to come with AI and then quantum computing, but that is a big part of it. Personally, I'm involved in a few charities that are near to me and my family, and so I like to have both my professional contribution to the world in general, to the things we make to make the world a better place, but also through some of my personal endeavors in there.
Our audience like to know about Keith personally. I heard that you like concerts.
I do.
Which concert did you visit?
Oh, recently, Dayan, I'm a big fan of an old LA band called Little Feat. They're about 50 years old, and they were just making, I think they're possibly making their final, planned concert tours. They might do some separate events, but got to see them recently here, and it was really great to bring back some of those memories. But I like music of all sorts, and I enjoy concerts no matter who.
They heard you're retiring, so they decided to follow.
I guess they just decided, let's all do this at the same time.
What do you do in your spare time when you're not building all these computers?
Well, I have a ton of hobbies, so I'm relentlessly curious. So I'm always sometimes taking things apart, not always figuring out how to put all the parts back together. But
know the story.
Yeah, you wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Dan? But I enjoy that. I enjoy fishing. I love to travel. And so in retirement, there's the opportunity to spend more time doing those things, spending time with family. But I have an endless list of hobbies to chase.
Life has changed and living has changed quite a bit since we grew up. Can you tell us where you live now, where you grew up? What are the differences that you've been noticing?
I have always lived in Texas, and just circumstances and what there. But growing up. I grew up in a family with a working mother and a mother who was a big STEM fan, and she could only go so far in her career with as a teacher for a while, but then could only go so far. It was getting secretary jobs. Went to graduate school, got her master's in library science, and wound up being the librarian at one of the then technology companies in the late 60s and 70s, and would bring home periodicals for me to read with space and technology. And so I was hooked at an early age. And so the difference between the life she was providing for us, was able to provide for us, and then what ultimately came from what I've been able to do kind of here is it's a little bit of a contrast, but I'm still rooted in kind of the same communities.
That's where this background on your teams, meaning meetings is coming up.
Oh, you see my backgrounds. It's mission control circa 1969. Then NASA has the mission control kind of as a museum now from the Apollo missions. And my mother would bring home, schematic diagrams of Saturn V rockets and the lunar module, and I had all that stuff. And so when I saw NASA had posted an image of the mission control room, well, that had to be my screen background.
Thank you, Keith. Great statements. A bittersweet opportunity, but I'm still delighted we had a chance to talk to you.
Thank you, Dan.
I wish you all the best in your next step.
Thank you.